What up, YouTube leagues? Come back at you with another custom StarCraft 2 cast today. It's going to be a really interesting one. We have a Brood War Protoss Terran team versus a StarCraft 2 Protoss Terran team. This is basically going to be a Brood War versus StarCraft 2 kind of mirror matchup. I'm so curious to see how this game is going to go. Let's go ahead and introduce our players. Team number one, Team Brood War, spawning on the bottom left-hand side of the map is going to be our orange Brood War Protoss player Rosebudio with his teammate. Spawning to his right, it's our Brood War Terran player, the green player, Simp Lord. OMG, I love that. Simp Lord, you know, can't relate. We're not going to talk about it though. Spawning on the top right-hand side of the map, it's Team StarCraft 2. It's our blue StarCraft 2 Protoss player, the Puppeteer, with his teammate spawning to his right. It's our red StarCraft 2 player, the red Terran player, Mr. Nice Guy. So it's kind of like Mr. Nice Guy versus Simp Lord. I promise I'm not going to make this game a meme. I'm going to try to not make this game a meme, but Simp Lord versus Mr. Nice Guy? I mean, come on. Like, how could you not make this a meme? Now, if you're not familiar with this mod, this is the SC Evo Complete mod, which does put together the StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2 races. It's super sick. If you're not new to my channel, obviously you know it at this point, and it looks like Simp Lord OMG going for the bio. And I was told, kind of a disclaimer, that this game gets kind of toxic, but I don't know how, and I don't really know what that entails. So, this game may become not safe for work. We do have Mr. Nice Guy coming in with the Reaper, but this Reaper will be chased away by the Dragoon, and the Dragoon is what the Stalker should have been, man. I mean, look at it. It's so cool looking. It looks like an in-between of the Stalker and the Immortal, which I kind of think is where the design came from for the Immortal, honestly. We do have the expansion coming down for Rosebudio. We have the gold base taken by Simp Lord, and the gold base on the top left-hand side for Team StarCraft 2 has been taken by the Puppeteer. We'll see. Usually when I see a gold base taken by Protoss, I immediately think that he's gonna go for air, but at the same time, this gold base is so easy to take that, you know, it probably doesn't mean anything. And honestly, this is one of my favorite maps. For 2v2. I love the aesthetic of Nightscape. It is such a cool looking map, and taking a look at what tech we got going on, the Puppeteer's definitely not going air. He's researching Warp Gate, and he's researching Blink. Now, researching Warp Gate and going air, that's not unusual, but the fact that we see Blink coming out from this Twilight Council tells us, obviously, that Blink Stalkers are on the way. Taking a look at what we got on Team Brood War side, obviously no Blink, because Blink doesn't exist. We have what is going to be bio coming from our green StarCraft 1 Terran player, and we have what is going to be, I believe this is the range upgrade for the Dragoon. So this upgrade gives the Dragoon +1 range. So keep in mind, Brood War Protoss does not have Warp Gate, which I think immediately puts them at a disadvantage when it comes to going against, like, StarCraft 2 Terran. Honestly, I feel like this matchup, and obviously it kind of makes sense, it favors the StarCraft 2 versions of these races. Just because we have mules coming from the Orbital Command, we have Warp Gates for the Protoss. We don't have any of that for the Brood War races, which, you know, is fine because these races are not meant to be balanced with each other. One is the old game, one's the new game, so that's why I'm so curious to see how this mirror matchup is going to go. We have what is going to be a push coming from Team Brood War, actually forcing the evacuation of this Orbital Command, rejecting the base, but I think this is maybe a slight overextension for Team Brood War. We have these Marines doing so much damage to the Dragoons, entering the bunker as well. These medics, though, keeping the bio alive. Blink is done, so we will have Blink Micro, and we have what is going to be the Warp Prism on the back of this. But it looks like we may have what is a forced contain by Team Brood War, rejecting the expansions for for Team StarCraft 2. This is actually a big deal because we have what is going to be expansions on the back of this. So both of our Brood War players are transitioning to 3 bases, while Team StarCraft 2 is now stuck on 2 bases technically. At least the Protoss player is stuck on 2 bases, and guess what? Guess what? Our StarCraft 2 Terran player is stuck on 1 base. It looks like finally, though, Team StarCraft 2 able to clean up that harassment. This orbital command with almost full HP will survive. Did any workers go down? Oh, we're a 2v2, so I can't actually see the workers kill tab. I forgot about that. I clicked it. You probably heard me try and click it, and it just makes this sound. You hear that? Yeah, that's me trying to see what I want to see, but I'm getting rejected. Okay, look, I said I could relate to being a simp. You know what? We'll just pretend I can't relate. Oh, I love this. The Reaver with the 7 kills. So the Reaver did actually take out some workers on the back of this. I was too busy talking about how embarrassing my life was. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's just jokes. It's just jokes. Now, looking at this bio army, though, this army is looking really scary. We don't have any medics, though, so this is pure Marine. Oh man, we do have the medics on the back of this, but where is the orange Protoss player? We do have some Dragoons right here, but they're not following the army in 2v2. In 2v2, what you gotta do is hit together. And 2v2, this is the reason why it is more stressful for me than 1v1, because it's so hard to sometimes kind of like hit at the same time. It's hard to synchronize your movements sometimes, and then you're in a situation like this. This is technically a 1v1 engagement, so not too bad. And now we do have the Dragoons, excuse me. But yeah, 2v2 can get really messy, and now we have what is going to be the surround on these Marines, though. So the Marines getting melted by what are the Dragoons and the StarCraft 1 Marines. The Puppeteer was not engaging this. I think he probably thought he didn't have enough units to engage the double army, but finally, it looks like now it's just Dragoons versus what are Stalkers and an Immortal, and I feel like the Immortal would be really good against the Dragoons. The Immortal just has such good DPS against armored units, man. And look at this. This Immortal with its 3 kills with full health as well is actually insane. Look at how fast these Dragoons are going down. That's actually outrageous. So these Dragoons by the Puppeteer, or sorry, these Dragoons getting cleaned up by the Puppeteer, and the bio army is now kind of just engaging in the middle of this, and this is exactly what I was talking about. You want to synchronize your movements with your teammate. But unfortunately, it looks like now this is starting to stabilize for Team Protoss 2. So unfortunately, Team Protoss 2, did I just say that? Team StarCraft 2. It's unfortunately stabilizing for Team StarCraft 2, unfortunately for Team Brood War. And then it looks like Simple are telling Rosebudio to reinforce his army. Rosebudio saying he's trying, and in Rosebudio's defense, man, he has no warp gate, so if you're not used to playing Brood War Protoss and Protoss is your main, it feels so weird. It feels so weird to play the Brood War Protoss, because I'm like, man, I can't just dump all my minerals at once. I actually have to build warp gates, or not warp gates, gateways, and then queue up units. But it looks like Team Brood War is starting to synchronize their movements, able to push on the right-hand side of Team 2's base. Looks like there was an attempt at sieging up the Liberator, but the Liberator will go down to the anti-air for the Dragoons, and the Dragoons running away. And my brain is starting to do that thing where you say a word enough and then it starts to sound wrong, and now that word for me is Dragoon. It's lost all meaning. I say Dragoon and it just makes my brain like static. Oh, I love to see it. The Blink Micro able to keep a lot of these Stalkers alive to the bio. And what do we have here? We have what is going to be a double Reaver drop, I think, unless it goes down to these Stalkers. This shuttle is still alive. This Reaver you kind of need shuttles for the Reavers because the Reaver is literally so slow. It causes me pain. It causes me so much anger to see how slow the Reavers are. Yeah, you need a shuttle for it. And honestly, Reaver drops into the mineral line are so bad, man. They are so brutal, man. Oh, I love to see it. We have the Colossi, which is a great reaction to seeing all that Brood War bio. These Dragoons, I hate to see them go down. They get melted by the Stalkers. The Stalkers with the blink are just so good against the Dragoons. We have the Colossi as well. Taking a look at the upgrades, do we have Thermal Lance? We do not have Thermal Lance yet, so we do not have the range for these Colossi. So much of the bio does go down. These Reavers, this one with the 0 kills, trying to do some damage. It does get 2 kills before going down. On the back of this, we have what is a Reaver with 12 kills. So we have what was a big Reaver drop on the back of this, able to take out so many of the workers. And honestly, even though the engagements look really good for Team StarCraft 2, I do think that the engagements have been in their favor. Let's take a look at the resources lost. So we have orange and green. Taking a look, we have 8,000 resources lost for orange, 10,000 resources lost for green. So that's Team Brood War. And we have 14,000 resources lost for Protoss for Team StarCraft 2, and 6,000 resources lost for the red Terran players. So really relatively even. But at the same time, we have what is going to be a lot of expansions for Team Brood War. So Team Brood War is expanding all over the map, and they've been doing a great job at containing Team StarCraft 2. I never thought I would be saying that in in my StarCraft casting career. Team StarCraft 2 versus Team Brood War is so cool. This Colossi with the 12 kills is actually outrageous. Simpler saying Keck. Oh man, why is he saying that? He's saying the bio swarm, and I think he's just laughing at the fact that he's got so much bio, and honestly, this is an outrageous amount of bio. Rosebudio says that they're zerging. I don't think Team StarCraft 2 is zerging necessarily. Simpler saying I realized, and Rosebudio telling his teammate to get some upgrades. Right now, they're kind of just talking. I wonder if this is where we get to the toxicity that I heard about. We will find out. What are these? Oh, these are Dark Templar. I didn't even recognize them. That is so cool. Okay. Okay, we have what is going to be the Dark Archons. I hope we see mind control, man. That would be so cool. Mind controlling the Colossi, bro. Now, the issue is, I believe for mind control, you need 150 energy, so you really have to keep these Dark Archons alive for a long time before they're really useful. Now, if you guys didn't hear, I am out of town for 2 months, which means I'm casting on a mini gaming PC, which I bought specifically for my channel. And it's doing a great job, but I did buy it on a budget, so it's not the best gaming PC. I'm actually really impressed with how it's been performing casting and recording StarCraft 2. I'm really impressed with it. So if you see a bit of frame drops with this 2v2 matchup, that is why I'm not casting on my actual gaming setup. I'm casting on a portable setup. I'm casting on like a mini gaming PC with a tiny monitor. So it's kind of hard for me to read everything, but I'm trying to keep up with it all. We do have some scans. It looks like, okay, I love this. Simplord actually saying, get the sandwich, get the surround on this StarCraft 2 army. So it looks like we have what is going to be the Protoss army on the bottom and the Terran army on the top. And I love this. Simplord actually saying, go for the mind control on the Colossi. Go for it. Do we have mind control? We don't have enough energy. So these Colossi will not get mind controlled. We do have some storms in the middle of this, but I don't think this is enough, unfortunately. We do have a lot of Dragoons. Maybe this is enough. Where is the bio army? We did have a frame drop right there. We do have the Reavers. Simpler saying, bro, I think he's mad. I think he's mad about the oh no, yeah, he's mad about the mind control. He's like, take the Colossi, WTF. But unfortunately, and Rosebudio, I think, discovered this just a little bit too late. We need the 150 energy for those mind controls. So now it's looking like we're seeing what is a comeback for Team StarCraft 2. They aren't expanding as much as I'd like to see compared to Team Brood War. But man, the army, this army is looking like a classic Protoss death ball, on top of the fact we also have the disruptors, which are so good against the bio. This Dark Archon will go down. Oh man, this is brutal. This army, this is going to critical mass. I think we're reaching critical mass for this army. Rosebudio saying, wait for the goons, wait for the goons. Where are them goons? Oh no, where's the army for Team Brood War? This is brutal. Okay, we do have some Dark Templar, which may be good for kind of like, I don't know, going for some sort of counter strikes against the economy, but we do have what are the observers in the main army for the blue StarCraft 2 Protoss player. Simplor telling Rosebudio to make more gates, which, you know what, fair enough. It's difficult. It's difficult to kind of get used to it. Like I said, if you're used to playing StarCraft 2, you're used to having warp gates, not just gateways. So transitioning from that into Brood War playstyle is pretty rough. What is this? Mr. Nice Guy trying to deny this base. Simplord saying he's almost dry because you kept effing around. Oh man, and Rosebudio saying quit bitching, you effing baby. Okay, this is where the toxicity is coming from. Oh, I love this. And just as they say that, it looks like they're coming back with the army. And there's, where's the red army? There's no red army, so this is a 2v1 situation. The Colossi do go down. The Archons look like they're also going down. And now Rosebudio saying the Colossi are dead now, STFU. Simplor saying shut up. Okay, you know what? That spelling from Simplor tells me that this is just banter at this point. I think they're just bantering with each other. I mean, they are friends as far as I know from what I've been told. But this is looking like it's a good comeback for Team Brood War. That was just two really good engagements for them. They took out each army respectively for their opponents. So they took out the StarCraft 2 Protoss army, and now they're taking out the StarCraft 2 Terran army. These tanks trying to do some damage, but we do have the scans being thrown down on top of this. The tanks do go down, and now it looks like the expansions for Team StarCraft 2 are looking like they are in trouble. We have what is Rosebudio's Dark Templar with the 9 kills will go down to the splash damage of, I think, either the splash damage from that tank or the Stalkers. I don't know. Either way, we did have the Observer, so that Dark Templar was spotted. But this is looking really scary. Taking a look at the upgrades, we have 2-1 attack upgrades for orange, 2-2 attack upgrades for green, so that's Team Brood War, and we have 1 attack upgrades, and that's it for our StarCraft 2 Protoss player. We only have Stimpack and Combat Shields for Mr. Nice Guy, so Mr. Nice Guy didn't get any upgrades at all in terms of attack and armor, which I think really hurt him in the end right here. The game's not necessarily over, but it's looking like it is in favor for Team Brood War. This is just so many Dragoons with the bio support. Looks like the Puppeteer will lose. I want to say this is like base number 5, roughly. So that Nexus will go down. This Colossi will get sniped by the Dragoons. The Dragoons running away, trying to kite these Zealots, but the Zealots do have charge, and this is a planetary fortress for Mr. Nice Guy with 3 kills, so not as many kills as I thought. But it looks like Rosebudio going for the attack on the planetary. We do have the mass pull of... Oh, that is brutal, the mass pull of the SCVs, but they do go down to the StarCraft 1 Storms. That was so many workers that went down. The Puppeteer leaving the game, no GG. Mr. Nice Guy throwing the GG, giving the victory to Team Brood War. So Brood War came out victorious in this sort of kind of pseudo mirror matchup. What a fun one. If you guys enjoyed what you saw, please consider shooting me a like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you want me to cast any of your own games, I will leave my email and Discord in the description below. I would love to cast some more community games, so please join the Discord and send me some of your replays, and I'll see you guys on the next one.